Hey, what up, guys? Continuing the 2019 year-end top 10s, this video is going to be discussing numbers 5, 6, and 7 at light heavyweight, the 175-pound light heavyweight division. So let's kick it off with number 7 and let's jump right in with number 7. Sorry about that. And that is undefeated Marcus Brown, contender Marcus Brown. Brown entered the year number 10. He was coming off of 2018 where he scored his career best win when he knocked out Sean Moynihan and was, well, actually he didn't do that. I don't believe he did that in 2018. But he was, he was kind of banging around. He was trying to get himself into the mix, and he got a huge opportunity in January to take on Badou Jack. And this was huge for him. The WBA interim light heavyweight title was on the line to put him in the mix, and he was outboxing Jack for most of the first half of the fight, but in the 6th round, a bad cut was opened up over Jack's in the middle of Jack's forehead, and that caused him to bleed into his eyes a lot. And Jack didn't close the second half out like he normally does, and Marcus Brown continued to just outbox him and outwork him. Clean, unanimous decision as he became the interim champion. That was the biggest win of Marcus Brown's career. He was undefeated and he was rolling. He had some domestic issues though, a couple of them, and was in and out of court. And then in August, he decided to stay busy and take on former champion Jean Pascal. I think Brown was overlooking him, but early on, he was dominating him. He looked like he hurt Pascal a couple times, and I think that caused him to get a little over-aggressive, and he walked into a couple clean shots. He got put down 3 times, and then in the 8th round, the fight went to the scorecards because of a cut caused on Marcus Brown. And so the judges came back because of those 3 knockdowns. The judges came back with a 1-point win for Pascal as Brown suffered an upset technical decision loss. He was cleanly outboxing Pascal, but the 3 knockdowns and getting hurt really hurt him, and he ended up losing for the first time in his career. The cut caused him to stay out. He had an immediate rematch clause in a contract, but the cut was going to have him out of the ring for a while, so Pascal went on to other things. Brown didn't finish the year out doing anything else. And now entering 2020, Brown just wants to get right back in the mix. He said he wants a rematch with either Pascal or Badou Jack before they fought. Pascal took a split decision. I'm not sure if he still has a rematch clause in the contract where Pascal has to face him, but Pascal is now the WBA regular champion. So I'd love to see Marcus Brown take on Jean Pascal again, or even Badou Jack again. Badou Jack probably would want a shot. And these guys in this division, even though Pascal's pretty much a free agent to fight whoever he wants, these are still pretty much the only guys in the top 10 that compete for the PBC. So it might be hard for them to get fights against some of the other guys, even though Top Rank and the PBC are talking about working together a lot more in 2020. So we'll see. But he's only 29 years old. He's in the prime of his career. He's a very good boxer. And I think the domestic issues and overlooking Pascal really hurt him in 2019. We'll see how he bounces back. It really does need to be a bounce back year for him, though. He's 23-1 with 16 knockouts. So the guy really has all the tools to bounce back and make himself a real player in 2020. We'll see if he can get into some kind of an eliminator or get himself a title shot sometime this year. So his next fight, though, I think he's probably just going to come back and stay busy in the first couple months, but we'll see. We'll see what he does. Finishing the year number 6 is Jean Pascal, the WBA regular light heavyweight champion. Pascal came out of nowhere. He's coming off of 2018 where he got dominated. He actually was thrown in November against Dimitri Bivol and didn't stand a chance. I mean, Bivol dominated him over 12 rounds, one-sided, the unanimous decision, and it really looked like Pascal was washed up heading into 2019, and I didn't even think he was going to keep fighting because he had originally retired at the beginning of 2018. He came back, got a win, and then he got a very undeserved title shot against Dimitri Bivol and got lopsided defeated. So I was like, oh, okay, he's washed up. No way. He got a crack at Marcus Brown in August, and Marcus Brown and it looked like, I mean, even early on in the fight, it looked like he was just going to get dominated in this fight. Marcus Brown was cleanly beating him to the punch and outboxing him and hurting him too. And then out of nowhere, he landed a money right hand to put Brown down. The fight kept going on, but he got caught a couple more times and put down. So a total of 3 times. And then he suffered a bad cut. And in the 8th round, the referee stopped the fight and forced it to the scorecards, where Pascal won by a technical unanimous decision by 1 point on all 3 scorecards. And that cost him his first fight. I mean, that cost Brown the title, and actually Pascal became the interim champion. The WBA didn't really make an announcement that they upgraded Bivol to super champ, but Pascal was upgraded to the to regular champion. And in December, he came back to defend his title against Badu Jack. Again, he came in the underdog. But I thought this was going to be a very good fight, and they fucking delivered. This was a great fight between Pascal and Jack, 2 veterans. They went toe-to-toe. Pascal was pushing the fight and I think the tempo of the fight, and was landing maybe the bigger punches, but Jack was landing more punches throughout, and he hurt him, put him down in the 4th round. Pascal hurt Jack in the 4th round, put him down. Jack came back later in the fight and hurt Pascal and put him down. And it just really looked like, you know, it was a back and forth fight. It looked like Pascal might get finished late by Jack, but he showed a lot of heart, stayed in there, fought all the way through. The fight went to the scorecards, where Pascal got a very close 12-round split decision in a fight where he got outlanded by Jack. But he called it, and I really respect what he said. He said, hey, nobody can say this was a robbery because it was a really close fight. I've been saying that, guys. You cannot call a fight a robbery if it's a legitimately close fight. And this one was back and forth. It was really close. I'd love to see it again. I'd love to see what Pascal's going to do, because I think he's in line to fight the WBC champion, which is Artur Beterbiev. And he's also the unified champ. He's got the IBF title too, Beterbiev does. But he's also the regular champion. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if he has to fight Beterbiev in 2020, like if they're mandating that, if the WBC is like he's a gold champion, kind of like Callum Smith is at 168. I think that's the distinction they're holding on right there, but I'm not sure. So I think sky's the limit for Pascal, a veteran who really wasn't expecting this. Is a big bounce back year for him, and you know, we'll see what he can pull off, because he's 37 now. So I really think he's just about getting in there and fighting the top dogs and seeing what he can do, because, you know, this is kind of a gift for him. He kind of really worked his ass off. He's 35, 6-1, 20 knockouts. So I don't think he was expecting any of this, and he's just kind of riding the wave and enjoying the moment. And I think he needs to continue to do that, because nobody saw him coming, and I can't wait to see what he does in 2020. I would love to see him fight Badu Jack again, Artur Beterbiev. I think he should stay away from a Marcus Brown fight unless that's a mandated fight, because I think Brown's going to come back and probably whip his ass, and Brown doesn't have as big a name. So a fight with Jack would be bigger money. A rematch with Jack or Beterbiev, it would have a bigger opportunity in that fight, you know, at 3 world titles. So I think he should do that, but John Pascal doesn't care. He'll fight anybody. I like that about the veteran, and can't wait to see him back in action. All right, now finishing up this video and finishing the year number 5 is the former WBC champion, Oleksandr Vovcik. Vovcik entered 2019 number 2 for me, so he drops 3 spots to number 5. He came out of nowhere. I mean, in 2018, he had a really good year. He was he became the WBC interim champion, waited around for his mandatory shot, and it came in December when he took on longtime champion Adonis Superman Stevenson. It was a very good fight between the two. But he seemed like he was outboxing, outworking Stevenson. He was ahead on the cards. He got rocked a couple times, though. Stevenson's power showed in that fight, but Vovcik stayed focused, and in the 11th round, he poured it on Stevenson and knocked him out, brutally knocked out Stevenson, actually put Stevenson in a coma. But that was his career best win as he captured the WBC title. Excuse me. So entering 2020, people just wanted to see how good he really was. They wanted to see him fight a top dog, possibly a unification. And in March, he just took a stay busy fight against Dudu Ngumbu and dominated him. 5th round TKO. Ngumbu had to pull out with an injury, But it was kind of a workmanlike against a so-what type opponent. You know, nobody really cared about this Nagumbu. But in October, he got a huge opportunity to unify belts against undefeated IBF champion Artur Beterbiev. This fight really was going to separate and declare an eventual #1 fighter in this division, because you know, Kovalev was handling his business and taking on Canelo Alvarez, and nobody really expected Canelo to, if he beat Kovalev, which he ended up doing. I don't think anybody really expected Canelo to fight this guy, so to fight the winner, and he was probably going to vacate the belt, which he did. So it was to declare the eventual #1. Volcik was doing good. He was outboxing, outlanding Beterbiev, but Beterbiev just kept coming. He kept grinding. He kept coming at him. He kept walking through and kept wearing down Volcik and landing the better shots. And Volcik was ahead on the cards entering the 10th round, but he just couldn't handle the power. He got hurt. He got put down and knocked out in the 10th round and lost his WBC title. But you know what? No shame, because Beterbiev is an undefeated, very legitimate fighter. So that's what happened there. So entering, he's got to have a bounce back year in 2020. That's the kind of year that Volcik is looking at this year. He, like I said, he was #2. He dropped 3 spots to #5. He's 32 years old, so he's still kind of, you know, right there in his prime. And I think Volcik is very good, and he could have a very good year. But is he going to get the guys to fight him? Well, what works out for him is he fights for Top Rank. So he's going to have opportunity, because Top Rank has everybody. They have Eliter Alvarez. They got Jesse Hart, Gilberto Ramirez, Artur Beterbiev. Those are 5 top-tier fighters. And they got Sergey Kovalev. So 6 top-tier fighters, including himself, in the you know, top 10 right there. So sky's the limit. He could get whoever he wants, and if necessary, why not go after Dimitri Bivol? If Bivol still can't get a good opponent, Bivol would fight anybody. I think Bivol would fight him, so why not fight him? And Volcik's going to have to decide if he wants to really step back into that picture. I think his first fight back needs to be kind of a stay busy tune-up. Maybe he gets 2 of those in, and then at the end of the year, either a title shot or a final eliminator type fight to get him back in the mix. Because he's not a big name, but and he's kind of considered high risk, low reward, because he is a very talented fighter. But we just got to wait and see what he decides to do. But I like Volcik. I can't wait to see him back in 2020. I think it's going to be a good year for Top Rank. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. So, tough break for him, but he's still very good, former champion, and I think he'll get an opportunity in 2020. All right, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. That's numbers 5, 6, and 7. Alexander Volcik, Jean Pascal, and Marcus Brown. True Boxing. Been hit with the truth.